Hello my stitchy friends, this is Laura from Stitching by the Shore, and this is a channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, this is a Flosstube Extra, and I am doing a little quick video to talk about my planners and what I plan to use for 2024 to keep track of all of my stitching. And if you're a returning stitching friend, you may have remembered that I've talked about my planners and that I've wanted to do a video. And so I thought this would be a perfect time to jump on and do so. I'm coming at you from a different angle, just trying something a little bit different today. So I hope you like the different view. We have my different shelves right here. And this is the shelf I was talking about where I can put things up top here. Plus then these are all the hangers, by the way, that I can put underneath and I can hang things. So I took ornaments that were on my Christmas tree, and if they kind of spoke winter to me, I put them up so that I can enjoy them a little bit longer during the year. Okay, so let's talk planners. That's what we're gonna do today. I have 3 that I'm going to use for this year. In 2023 and 2022, I used 2 different planners. And this year, because I want to find a way to keep track of my stitch-alongs or games and challenges and all of that stuff, I decided to add a 3rd one in, and I will evaluate how I like it over the year and then maybe make some tweaks. I think I'm gonna like it from the first 2 weeks of 2024, and you know, then I can go and figure out what I want to do for next year. All right, so let's start. Let's start with my simplest and the oldest planner that I have been using, and it's not even really a planner. It is, I don't know which way to do this. This is my composition notebook. As you can see, that's what it looks like generally, but I decided just to pretty it up with a little bit of paper. And I just recently did this because I got tired of looking at just the composition part of it. I could, if I wanted to, I could either handwrite on here. This is just scrapbook paper that came out of a kit that I wasn't sure I would use for scrapbooking my stitches. I could do some sort of sticker frame, or I'm sure in the kit there might have been some frames. So I could look and see if I could find something. And then basically this is just my projects, my basic projects notebook. So I have been keeping this notebook since January of 2020, and it's a very simple, and this is why you can keep things as simple as you want. Wait till Staples has a sale on composition notebooks and you're all good. If you wanted to do special decorating, you could always tape 2 or 3 of the pages together to make them a lot thicker. And that way, if you wouldn't have to worry about things going through, because obviously with composition notebooks, they're fairly thin based. But what I do is I put down the project. So the very first one, actually that was a 2019 start, but I put it for 2020, Beach House, Country Cottage Needleworks, 18 count vintage mocha. And I used DMC the day I started it, the day I finished it. And that's basically what I do for every single month of the year. And I have, so essentially now I have 4 years worth, because I have all the way through 2023 here. And if you scooch all the way down towards the back, you will see January of 2024 started. I would say I probably have another, this will be my 5th year with this, and I probably have at least another year or 2 from there. So you could keep 6, 7 years worth. If you know you're only starting a few on one side, you could actually do the next month on the other. I kept each month as one full front and back, because you can see there are some months where either I started a lot or I wanted to put notes on the back of that page. I also put, for example, I was recently asked about my Prairie Schooler faces. So in July of 2020, I did a Prairie Schooler Santa. I think, oh, it was probably the 2021. And I changed the face to 3864 and the cheeks to 407. So whenever I get asked about changes in DMC colors, that's also a lot of times where I like to look. So that's why this is really useful and why I like using it. And it will last for several years. So that's my quick and easy one. One quick note, this is just scrapbook paper that, as you can see, I just put right onto the cover. You could fold it over and decorate this inside cover with another piece of paper if you wanted. I just made it a little bit bigger than my edges, and then I used an X-Acto knife and I cut it so that it just is right on the front of the cover. My one tip from a long time usage of paper crafting and X-Acto knives. In my opinion, an X-Acto knife and a self-healing mat are not the pair to do. If you'd like to make fine, quick, sharp, even cuts with an X-Acto knife, I would really suggest getting a glass mat. This thing is years old, probably a good 15 years old. It came from EK Success, which is still around. It does have graph marks on it. You can see I have some tape there. I must have taped something on when I was using it. But the X-Acto knife blade, a good sharp blade, will just slide along the glass, and that will make it safer and easier cuts. When you use a self-healing mat, the blade can get stuck in the mats. That's just my one piece of paper crafting knowledge that I have come upon, and I did a lot of fussy cutting with paper and iris folding and all sorts of things like that. So take what you will with it, but that is my one little tip. So that's my first notebook, and this is the easiest one. That, I mean, when I start something, I write down the info real quick, so I have it the day I start it, and then I just have to remember to go back and put the date I finished it when I do. Okay, so that's just for projects whenever they get started and stopped. Now, my day-to-day use all the time planner, and this is last year's. It is, I don't know if you can see there, it says Commit 30. I'm pretty sure it's commit30.com. Commit 30 is a type of planner tracker. They have, this is, I think it's just their regular one. I think they have a workout one. They have other types of trackers as well. They also have little add-ons you can buy for stickers or things like that. If you were really planning something, they're big on goals and things like that. I don't necessarily use it as the goal section, but I really like how the planner is laid out. So that's why this now, if you look here, is my 3rd year using. And I really didn't have to think twice about using it because I really do like it. So real quick layouts. It starts, there's a couple extra pages here. I plan on just taping those together. You really, the front pages I don't find useful. So I have the calendar if I want it as a full year calendar. Here, this is a page that's my vision, and you could do goals for different things over the course of the year. I'm planning on using each month what I'm doing for different types of challenges or stitch-alongs or events. So in January, New Year, New Start, Bringo, Whip Frenzy, and so on and so forth. For February, there's Winter Camp from Colorado Cross Stitcher. And so I know I want to participate in that. And then as I do more, I'll list it there. And that's what I'll do for the whole month. These are just little stickers. I've used little strips of paper. You could use washi tape because I think it had, I don't know, I think it had different points in your life that you could do a yearly goal. So I wanted that covered up. And then you get into the months themselves. So let me do a month first that hasn't been started. So this would be March. And it starts off with these pages right here. This you can, I've never really figured out exactly what I'm going to do. This year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a challenge. For example, I did New Year, New Start in January, and I wrote what that was. My goal for the month is always to try to get to stitch every single day. And then I have cute little stickers that I use to cover. I'll show you in a minute what that looks like. Then there's this page, which is the 2-page just month at a glance. And I know a lot of people in their planners like to use this for what they stitch in a day, but I may touch 2, 3, 4, 5 projects, depending on if I'm doing Whip Frenzy or if I have a strand a day, plus I have a full coverage, plus I have whatever, you know? So what I did starting, all last year I did this, I think I started in 2022, was I use these as what I'm grateful for. So at the very beginning, I always say, I am grateful for, and then every single day I write something. I usually do it at the end of the day. If I forget, I do it the next morning. Easy enough to remember type of thing. And I just like it as just something as to remember that I'm grateful, right? And I'm thankful, and to keep that in my heart kind of thing. Sometimes they're silly. Sometimes they're, you know, much more important, but you know, it's just for me. So I kind of like that. And then it starts with the weeks, and I liked the colors that were the Monday through Sunday, so that's what I have. They also have ones that are Sunday through Saturday, and they have a different size. I want to say this is the bigger of the two sizes. So you could get something smaller if this was too big. And so what I do, if I go backwards now to January, so this was the first month of January. So as you can see, what I do is I write down everything I've stitched that day. And because I count stitches, I write down how many stitches in that piece that I stitched. And for example, Fish and Ships was a start on January 1st. So I did write new start. I'll put, if there's a finish, I'll write that. Let's see here. Yesterday I had a snow stitch, so I have that listed as snow stitch, so on and so forth. From there, what I do is I count all of my stitches on the day, and then I come over here and I put per the day. I add them all up. That's my weekly stitch. And then at the end of the year, I can do total stitch counts type of thing. Right now, I'm also doing Bringo. So I've been writing down what the number is for and what my stitch is and what the prompt was. Here, I put down how much water I drink during the day because I am horrendous at getting my ounces in and will dehydrate myself very easily if I don't keep myself accountable. And then here, I just have two boxes, meditation and move, whatever that means to me. And last week, I checked all 7 each of both of those, meditated and moved all 7 days. And let's see, that's pretty much how the month is set up. At the very end, there is a page, redundancy a little bit. Here, I write down again what I started that month. So if I knew I started something in a month, I could check here if I didn't have my other notebook, this one, near me. So they're pretty much similar, but I just like to have it in this extra spot so that I can see it really quickly. And if you want to see, these are my cute little for January. I haven't done them all. I usually wait a few days. I have stitched every day this month so far. And so as we're going there, I'll just add them onto the little thing. There are lots of places that you can get stickers like that. I like to go to, and I'll show you here, Plan to Plan Sticker Company. They have a ton of these. I don't know if they call them like date covers or something like that. And so there's all sorts of different designs. If I go, for example, let's see, in May of 2023, that was just little circles. I didn't do anything really fun there. But I know, let's see, August, I know I did some. I did watermelon. I thought that was cool. Where's October? I like the October ones too. Those were cute. I used little cauldrons. And they're all from Plan to Plan. And they're pretty affordable, I think, for what they are. I like making my journals pretty. So those are little stickers there, little sticker here. And then I will, once the month is complete, I will go back and fill in with stickers. I don't like to sticker ahead of time because who knew I was going to be writing this much? I had some thoughts about my projects. I had some thoughts about something that went wrong with my project, and I want to have room to write all that. And when I go back to decorate, I'll decorate over here and maybe add a few things. If I had the stickers ahead of time, I just wouldn't be able to do that. I will also sometimes write personal things. So for example, the day we lost Shamrock a few years ago, I did write and journaled down in that, on that for that date, and other things that have happened, good and bad, I will sometimes journal down there. So it is a little personal in that sense. So once we get through all the months, they do have back here 2025 dates already. So if I knew there was some sort of challenge or event coming up, I would write it in now. That gets more apparent as we get to the end of the year, right? And then at the back, let me just show you. If I flip through, let me get rid of that stickers in the back. Hold on. Whoops. Okay. If I flip through, look at all of the extra blank pages. There are so many in here. Unlike a lot of calendars, you don't get much, maybe 2 or 3. This one gives so much, and I love it because I can add a lot to the back. So first I have new starts for 2024. So far this year, I've made 2 new starts. And because I don't know how many I'll make, I actually give that a double 2-page spread. I like to be able to have things all neat with each other. Then we go here. I have my finishes for 2023, 24, and I already have 3. So I actually have more finishes than starts. That's not going to be the case for very long, but another empty page, you know, because I'm really ambitious, thinking I might get 2 2-page spreads of finishes. I haven't filled out this page yet. This is going to be a repeat of 2023. These are my full coverages in progress. So I think I have 14 or 15 of them, small, big, whatever sizes they are, if they're full coverage. So I write them down here, and that I'll just keep transferring them from year to year. For example, the one I talked about in my whip parade that is being deactivated for this year, I'll make a note of that. Here will be my monthly stitch counts. So as a month happens, I'll put January, the number of stitches for that month. At the end of the year, I can add them all up and I'll know how much for the year. Then we have ATCs, trading cards created. So far, I've only fully finished 1. So I keep this section for fully finished trading cards, not just stitch finishes. Then if we go to the next page, we have Flosstube extras. So for now, I only have 1 extra video. If I get this video uploaded, there'll be 2 here listed. And then see how many pages there are? There's so much you can put back here. This is new for me. I have had such trouble keeping information on stitch alongs. I don't do digital. I don't do digital planners. I like tactile. I like making it colorful. I like making it pretty. I like the actual writing things down physically with my hands. And that is what brings me joy. So rather than keeping track of anything digitally, and there's lots of videos about planners, digital planners, if that's your thing, I write it down. So what I did this time around was I took, first, this page is ones that are carried over from 2023, whether they were started in 2023 or whether they're a multi-year thing, like my pumpkin birthday stitch along. That is every single year. So that's listed. And I put who it's hosted by, basically what's the parameters. For example, Stitch Barbara Anna Sal, hosted by me, Stitch Any Barbara Anna chart. And that one will be an ongoing one. That can go as soon as whenever you've got a Barbara Anna. Then, for example, you have Summer by the Shore Sal, which is hosted by myself and Beth the Steadfast Stitcher. And then Stitch on Summer Quaker by Leela Studio. So the only other thing I could have put was the ones that were started, and maybe I'll put a little date in 2023 when they were actually started. So I have that, and then I gave myself then stitch alongs for 2024, and hopefully I don't need more than that because that's all I gave for it. I don't have anything listed yet. Then I have, because I want to do 55 full finishes this year, I have a page fully finished pieces, and so far you can see I've had 2 full finishes, what the pattern is, and basically one was made into an ornament, one was made into a trading card. I don't know if I might have given myself 2 pages for that. Let's see. Or that might be, that's it so far. So I still have more pages that I can put things on. I just haven't figured it out yet. So this is my main planner. I do not spend tons of time on it. Maybe at the end of a day, I will go back. I've kept track on my phone of everything I've stitched. I write it down. You know, I wait until several days before I put my little stickers on. At the end of the month, I have fun and I play for a little while with stickers or washi tape or whatever it happens to be, adding some more pretty stuff onto it, and then it's good to go. So I really feel like I don't spend a ton of extra time on this compared to maybe somebody who has a digital planner. Now, you could spend lots of time if decorating and paper crafting was something you really liked. Now, my newest journal for this year is this little one right here. It's in the line of, say, bullet journals. I've never bullet journaled before, so this was a whole new world for me. Now, one thing I did learn was that this paper is 100, is it GSM? It's whatever the weight is. Next year, if I like this system, I will get a 160 GSM. Because while the paper is pretty good, you can see a bit through. So I would like something a little bit thicker next time, but it'll be fine for this year. I'm not gonna get something new at this point. I'm been using markers generally and some other things, so it's not going to be much of an issue. So what I did, I was looking at a bunch of bullet journal videos on YouTube. There's a ton of them. And one person had recommended the very front page is usually very thin and flimsy, and that you should attach it to the second one. So I did that. So now it's good and thick, and I can still put any information if I wanted my name. I guess bullet journals, people put if lost, contact. I don't think this is ever leaving the house, so it doesn't matter. Now, in hindsight, I would have made this a page that said January, but I was having fun, cross-stitch, challenges, planning, sales, fun stuff, whatever. So, you know, for this first month, it's fine. And then I just grabbed some washi tape and I just threw it wherever there was some space. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to list all the different challenges and things I'm doing. So for example, here's Bringo. And there's my Bringo board. And I will show you the markers that I really like to use in just 1 second. I have listed, for example, 100 stitches per prompt. It's the magazine monthly cross stitch challenge hosted by C. Zook and Carolyn Zook and Robin Hall. And then when I fill my Bringo prompt in, I color it in. And if I wanted to know what each of the numbers meant, that's what this page is. It's got all of the prompts, all 25 prompts. My next page, I'm just going to go from challenge to challenge on this book. I'm not going to, leave extra pages. This is my categories, and I say that's from Whip Warriors. The letter this month for January is W. And then the prompts will always be the same. It's the letter that changes. And I decided I like to color in little boxes and things. I really liked that from Bringo. So that's how I'm going to tackle challenges where I have multiple things. So I just have, for example, animal or plant, whale from Fish and Chips. I finished that prompt. It's already been updated on the Facebook page, so I filled it in. I've got 4 done. I never finish categories. So if you are wondering, you don't have to finish categories. You don't need all 12 to participate. I haven't done Serena Sprout, which will be prompt number 10. And then I don't know on any of the others. I haven't figured that out yet. That might be all I do, to be honest with you. But that's okay, because I do multiple events in the group. Then I have the acrostic from Crafts and Books. So this month, the word was hibernate. And Crafts and Books is obviously the group. The 200 stitches per prompt, or you can do 300, what is it called? Penalty stitches if you don't have something matching. So for example, I have 4 that I've already done my 200 stitches in and filled them out. And there are 2 others, R and the second E here. Blue Rhapsody, which is today's Bringo prompt, is what this R, Rosewood Manor or Rhapsody. So that's perfect. That's going to get filled in when I haven't quite finished 200 stitches yet. I know this one here is going to be Ecru. I know what piece that is. I try to, and this is if you do multiple games, try to double dip. If you're doing something from Whip Warriors, or you're doing an acrostic from Crafts and Books and 24 hours of cross stitch and maybe another group, try to combine them. And that way you're filling out your different things without trying to create extra work for yourself. This should be fun. It's a game. If it becomes anything else, try to think about how you can make it fun for you. And again, I've just used pencil. I'm going to show you those, my colored pencils, and that's how I filled it in there. This one here, the January Late Night Stitchers is a Facebook group. Their January challenge was to stitch 750 stitches on any project, and they gave us a code word, so that's there. I'm doing Fish and Chips. I have finished it, but I haven't taken the picture yet, and then I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to. This would be kind of cool if I wanted to do pictures. You could add pictures and things onto your stuff too. I haven't done Whip Frenzy yet, but that's my page for Whip Frenzy. When I know the code word, there we go. And then I will just write down what I've stitched and the number of stitches, so on and so forth. Whip Frenzy is 100 to 200 stitches. And then here, January stitch alongs. I know some have started. I have not started in on any at this point, and honestly, I don't 100% know all the different hashtags that have come out so far. I know I'm going to do the Vivsters flag stitch along. I can't remember the hashtag at the moment. So that'll be on there. I'll put who's hosting it and all the information and what I'm doing with it. And then that will be in January. And once I have these, then I'll transfer them to the master list on my other book. And each month's stitch alongs from here will go in there. Once these challenges are done, then I feel like, you know, like down here, I could decorate this maybe with some pattern paper. If I was a good doodler or drawer, I could see doing something like that. I'm not so good at that kind of stuff, but if you are, that would be a lot of fun. Washi tape. There's tons of washi tape. There are stickers that look like washi tape. Lots of different things you can do there. I think that's all that's going to be in January. So on this page, I've learned my lesson. From each month going forward, I'm going to write February and I'm going to decorate it somehow just to make it look a little pretty. So that will be this page. And then, for example, this could be the winter camp from Colorado Cross Stitcher. I don't know. I pretty much every month do categories, so that's a possibility. If I do from Crafts and Books or Late Night Stitchers or any other places where there's a challenge, I'll put it in here. I would like to have a few challenges in my Facebook group at some point, so you might see that as well. Now, markers. This is what I have in my, and I have it, what's really nice is I can just do this. I can put my book right in here, and this is all in one section. My favorite marker for all of my books is the Inkjoy, it's PaperMate Inkjoy Gel. And I really, really like the 0.7. Now here, because I thought, oh, I'll make these for lines, these are 0.5. I got a much smaller set of the 0.5s. I put them in this little container. It fits really nicely in here. And then all of these are the 0.7s. And I got, I think it was a 24 pack. So I got lots of different colors and shades of colors so that I can make things pretty. So that's what I use. I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the 0.5s. I don't feel like the ink flows quite as nicely from them. In fact, you kind of have to work at it. But the 0.7s, I never have a problem. I love them. One note. Once you write with it, if you were to rub your hand against it in the first 2-3 seconds after you used it, you will smudge. Give it no more than 5 seconds and there's no smudge. It dries very, very quickly, but there is an initial moment where you could smudge it. So I do want to give you that heads up. And then if I can reach over, let's see if I can reach over. I don't know why they're separated like this. I have 2 different tins of colored pencils. These are I want to say they're the Prismacolor. Yeah, they're Prismacolor pencils. Back a long time ago when I did a lot of paper crafting and card making, you'd color things in with colored pencils. And so I still have that set. And so that's what I'm going to use to color in a lot of my different blocks. I have so many different fun colors I can use, and they're not going to go through the paper. Something I do want to be a little bit more careful of since I don't have that heavier paper. People tell me that water-based markers are the way to go, not alcohol-based. So I used to have Tombow markers. They didn't make the trip to Delaware. I must have gotten rid of them along the way. So I do want to pick some of those up, and that will be fun to have some markers as well to kind of play around and play with that. So that pretty much, oops, sorry there. I had put my book on that table. I just shook you a little bit. Those are the 3 journals that I am using this year. Planners, journals, whatever you want to call them. Just a little bit of time at the end of the day if I need to color in something from a prompt. The end of the day, real quick, write down my stuff. 5 minutes tops. And when I need to write down the start or the finish date of something. So even if I were to use all of these in the course of a day, it's no more than 10 minutes. I'm not spending excessive amounts of time with my planning. I'm not taking away from my stitching. Maybe on the end of a month, if I want to make either this book or this book pretty, I might spend maybe 10 minutes. I have all my stickers in a specific spot. I have all my washi tape in a specific spot. So it's not like I'm hunting for anything. And I just have fun with it. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free. I will try to put down the information of what these are and the other markers and things I use. If you use something that you love that is non-digital, hard copy, hardcover, paper, whatever you want to call it, I would love to know what you love to do. And also, if there's certain types of pens or inks or things you like to use, feel free to put the information below, because then we can use it as a resource for other people who might be looking for some fun ways to make things pretty. And in the process, keep track of their stitching and plan a little bit, because I'm finding I can't remember everything. I'm juggling it a little bit too much, and I'm enjoying the stitch alongs. I'm enjoying the challenges and the games, but I'm enjoying them much more now that I have a specific spot and a place to remember it all. So for me, that was key. If you can remember everything in your head, more power to you. I wish I could. But, you know, it gives me a chance to make something pretty too. So that's about it. Like I said, if you have questions or you want to share, please do so. I would love to see what you're doing and hear about some more with what you're doing. And until my next regular video, happy stitching.